We chose to go with Landmark because we did our due diligence, having sought out other communities, 55 plus communities. We looked at the quality of the work that's being done and what they had to offer. And the thing that we liked best was, one, these were single family homes, so we weren't attached to anyone. The only thing you're attached to here are good neighbors and the community center, a low HOA. The land you own as well as the home, which is not the case in many other places where you only own the home and not the land. So that was a big factor for us. My favorite part is probably the design center. I was expecting the design center to be way outside my price and venue as far as upgrades were concerned. Basic house is great. If you want basic, you can have basic and be well satisfied with it. But at my age, and there were some extras that I really wanted to enjoy in a new home. And the choices were just great. The quality was definitely there, and it was within my budget. So the design center was very, very helpful. We visited, sat for a rather lengthy period of time, and just went over literally everything from flooring to countertops to drawer pulls. You name it, they covered it. And we finally, as my wife says, this is the house that she's always wanted. And it was a real pleasure for me to be able to give her something that she's never had and she's always wanted. This is your opportunity when you're building with Landmark. You're not having to put up with someone else's ideas of what a home should be. So we customized it to exactly what we wanted and not having to settle for something other than what we would really have liked to have had. When we were looking for a retirement home, coming here to Landmark, we had the opportunity to see a number of literally plots that were available. Also a number of different home styles, so that when you're downsizing, you want to be sure that you don't downsize too much or you don't downsize enough. So there are a number of models to choose from that we walked through, and we're able to get a good idea of what our idea of final reality was going to be based upon what Landmark had to offer. And there was a great fit there. We chose one, we chose a lot that we really liked. We have a great view, what we call Lake Sweetbriar. It really worked out to the point where everything that Landmark was able to do to help us in our design and decision process just worked perfectly in order. Being former military, order is the thing with me. And so things have to have a definite flow. And that's exactly what Landmark did. It took us step by step, and we ended up with something that, one, we had in our mind when we first came in, and two, we had in reality when it was finished. To describe Landmark's building process is probably summed up in just one word: impressive. First of all, they use some innovative techniques. I had never experienced superior walls. Our neighbors were so gracious, because while we were at our former home, they kept sending us videos of the superior walls for the basement going in. They were craned in place and had everything prepared. This is not modular. This is innovative technology, because the rest of the house is stick built. And a stick-built home gives you the quality and the durability that you do not find in prefab. So don't think prefab. Landmark uses really great crews. And while we came through and inspected at various stages, and they kept us informed, kept sending us emails saying, this has been done, along with photos. And we had the opportunity to come out and visit at various times. I could see the work being done, and I could see the quality and the job being done the correct way. It was just so impressive. And I think that's the one thing that you have to really think about, prefab versus something, A, that you want, and B, the quality is there, and it's really great build. When you come into a Landmark community, obviously you're going to go into a model home. And the thing that impressed us the most was A, the response, but B, the fact that we had a person that we could talk with who took the time to listen to us and understood what we were trying to do, rather than trying to sell us something that they had that we didn't necessarily want. The ability to sit down and have someone interact with you, both here on site and at the design center when you get to that phase, was really a joy and very, very helpful. We felt that we were building the home, not Landmark was building the home. My favorite part of my Landmark home is the kitchen, because I do all the cooking in the house. I have this really great deal with my wife. She does the laundry, and because I'm colorblind and she doesn't want everything to be pink, and I do all the cooking, which I learned from my father and my grandmother. And the kitchen was designed to my specs. It gives me the room to do not really fancy meals, but I love to bake. And the breakfast counter is just perfect. Plenty of room and plenty of style. We opted for some extras. And when you get to be my age and you're looking for a retirement home, Landmark has, within your budget, really great upgrades. And shouldn't you really treat yourself, when you're at this point in your life? And so I did, and the kitchen is my pride and joy. One of my favorite things to do is my little office, which is off the main floor, where I have a setup to practice blues guitar. I'm taking lessons. I never bothered when I was in high school. All through the years, I really thought, gee, I would like to take up an instrument. And so for the last 2 years, I've been taking regular lessons. It is just perfect because the area is cozy, and I can also play and not annoy my neighbors. My wife and I chose the Norton because we were downsizing from the home that were coming from. However, we were really surprised when we got here because this home has a basement. And we were thinking, okay, a typical basement, we may have to have outside storage. When we got here and saw it under construction and went through the home, the basement was really huge. I mean, it is the square footage of the house that's on top of it. And so there's room for my wife's sewing area, there's a play area for a granddaughter, and there's room for my model railroad. My dream model railroad is downstairs, and yes, the trains are always on time. My wife and I chose Sweetbriar because we were looking for a 55+ community in the area closer to the Veterans Administration where I get all my care. Being a combat wounded veteran, I get my care there. It's very first rate. And we checked out several different scenarios in the area, different places. Literally, the best buy for the money was Sweetbriar. The quality, the price, the different selection. I could go on with a number of things, but when you're looking, there are things that you know automatically that it's nice, but it's not quite right. And when we got to Sweetbriar, the thing with Landmark was their response. That really impressed us. Other places, we expressed an interest, and no one ever got back to us. As soon as we got home, the same day, Landmark contacted us. Do you need anything? Here's some more information. They really expressed an interest, and that totally impressed us. So we came back not only a second time, but a third time, and checked and rechecked and walked the ground and looked at the various models. Everyone was so helpful. It was just the best experience, and that sealed the deal. Here at Sweetbriar Crossings, there are a number of activities via the community center and with your neighbors. There are really great walking paths, but the activities we've participated in some community dinners, potluck dinners, which were a lot of fun. We celebrated St. Patrick's Day, and it was just great to be able to have a conversation, meet new folks. There is a pool here, and you're relatively close to other things within the community of Lebanon that are just a hop, skip, and a jump away. So this was an ideal location. If you're considering a retirement community, a 55 plus community like here at Sweetbriar that Landmark offers, the one thing that I will emphasize to you, that any realtor will emphasize: location, location, location. You'll have a choice of lots. You'll have a choice of various locations. Sweetbriar is not the only one. And you need to take a good look at what you're being offered as far as basics are concerned, and compare that with what others may be offering. I think you'll find that for dollar, you're probably going to be really surprised and quite pleased, as we were, with what you get as far as basics are concerned that are included, that are not necessarily included in other locations. We checked 4 or 5 other locations, and when it came down to it, Landmark had literally the best to offer, and that's why we chose it.